Doesn't seem like it's working right now. Give me one sec. Oh, it is working. Hello everyone. Welcome to the stream. I thought it wasn't coming up on the YouTube, but I was mistaken. Looks like we are all good. Let me just make sure my mic is working. Yes, indeed it is. I think the music is appropriate volume as well. Just let me know if there's any issues on that end. But anyways, unfortunately, if you guys can see the screen, I've been finding some good plays recently, but I have just been giving back a lot of profits just due to me being greedy and not following my rules, which has actually been a problem for a few months, but that's just the way it goes. And I think today I was wondering what we should talk about because there hasn't been too much. I was in Lumen earlier, and this play actually worked out pretty well. Initially, I think I entered this range maybe up here because I saw the fees were actually doing really well. Funny enough, I had a range, I think 87% down from here, so somewhere around like 100k was the bottom of my range. And funny enough, at the beginning of everything, like in this section, the fees were still super high. I mean, like almost like 2024 December fee generation. But after I got this little dump and spike, I sold most of my fees. I withdrew my fees and I sold here. And I stayed in, but I noticed that the fee generation slowed down like low-key 4x. Good dollar, good amount to start with looking to leave this damn 9 to 5. You're probably you can definitely learn how to be consistently profitable, but even I'm struggling in this market, to be honest. I keep giving back a lot of profits and I haven't made any significant progress. As you can see on the screen, I did a 1 Solana challenge 200. I completed that back in July. I started in August 2024 of last year. And then I think about 3 weeks ago, maybe beginning of December, I got up to 160, and then I went down to 150, and then 145, and then 150, 155, down to 150, and I'm just taking really dumb losses, so that's why we're back at 144, unfortunately. And still, you know, 144 isn't really enough to live off of, per se, but I try to just teach how to be consistently profitable. It is possible, you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm just, I would be more energetic, but I've just been really frustrated with how I've been performing recently, so. But anyways, that kind of led me into, that will segue. Magica, you need to turn off your Twitter. Whenever he gives me the stream key to go live on YouTube, so every Monday, I actually stream for the LP Army, which is the Meteor community. Meteor is the platform I use to trade on. TikTok, if you guys are not aware. So every Monday I'm live on their YouTube, but Magica sometimes forgets to turn it off on his Twitter, so now I'm live on Magica's Twitter. So I'm sorry about that. Anyways, I keep getting distracted. What we are going to talk about today in TikTok comments, I will get to you in a second. But I do want to talk about risk management. I saw it on my feed somewhere today. I saw on my feed somewhere of this guy that wrote this risk article. I'm just going to search Sisyphus and risk. I think that should pull up the article I'm talking about. If it doesn't, then there we go. This is what I wanted to look for. Is it possible to grow one soul? Like I'd be seeing all these YouTube videos, 1 soul to 500 soul. How do you start this? Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a quick intro to what we're doing since we are getting some engagement on TikTok. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate that. It's been kind of dead on that end, so if you want to drop a follow, there's so much educational content on my page that you can check out to get started. But anyways, basically, the stuff that you see on YouTube, 1 soul to 500 soul, it's been done. It's possible. But the issue is a lot of those traders are no longer profitable. There are always going to be cases of someone getting in a coin very early, getting in at 10k, riding it to 5 mil. That stuff is very rare. and I know profitable like actual traders, but basically what I preach on this channel is using this software. It's called Meteora, right? And what we do 99% of the time is we open liquidity pools on meme coins. So basically, we look for meme coins that have activity, that have volume, and what we do, Meteora, you're seeing all of these separate positions, right? What we do is we set up a range. Let's say I have $1.2 thousand in liquidity on this pool. So what I did initially is I went to add position, I add in my Solana. What Meteora allows you to do is it takes whatever 2 Solana, which is $250, it takes that 2 Solana and breaks it up between a bunch of different buy limit orders. You can think about them as buy limit orders. And right, the current price is this top bracket. This top bracket is 0%. You see how it just went up 1%, so now this is no longer in range. If I go back to 0%, it's going to add a different bin. Or it should have. It didn't. But anyways, so Meteora allows you to take your Solana, break it into a bunch of different bins. Bins, limit orders, I try to make you guys understand that they're sort of the same thing. And basically what Meteora allows you to do is when the price comes down into your buy orders, right? Right now in this range, it's 0%. So technically price is right here. None of our Solana is going to be swapped to the token. But when the price comes down into our range, we start earning fees. We earn fees on incoming order flow. So the powerful thing about this is that it allows you to be imperfect in trading meme coins, right? Because let's say you buy it right here. Let's say you buy it right here and this token just drops. Now you are in whatever money you bought and it's going down, and there's no benefit to you being in this token. Because when you buy the token, you immediately want it to go up. But Meteora allows you to have a plan for when it goes down. So usually I make my ranges something like minus 87% at the very least, usually. And you can see that's a very, very large range, right? Normal stocks, normal crypto, normal stuff like that is not prone to dropping this much percent. But meme coins, they can go to zero very, very fast, which is why if you are in this game, you know that minus 50% is not that much. It's really not. A meme coin can go down 50% in literally an hour. So that's why I go very wide range. Basically, I do the same thing, rinse and repeat on almost all my positions. Minus 87%, sometimes I go a little bit tighter, sometimes I go minus 80%, sometimes it's 92%, 93% if I'm really, really, really scared. What's up, Rag? Thank you for tuning in to YouTube. Rag is always in the chat, always asking very good questions, so you can see he's hanging out in the YouTube chat. Very good, very, very knowledgeable guy at this point, I would assume. He hasn't told me that he's explicitly profitable yet, but he's always asking questions that kind of make me assume that he knows what he's doing. So, Rag, thank you for joining us. Yo, Crime, what's up? I did. What's up, Prez? I did enjoy Met Dobby. You're on Pump V2 right now? Yeah, I saw some of my friends playing that. What was I saying? I was in Lumen earlier. I'm gonna go over this one more time because there's some people that weren't in here. So basically, this, I'm not sure honestly what the narrative was, but it seemed like an established project. It was getting volume. My friends were in it, so I was like, whatever, I'll OP it. I set up a range, as you can see. Probably got in up here, and I'm pretty sure I just went minus 87%, which is what I normally do. So you can see minus 87% down from here is even farther. It's going to be like down to here. So the bottom of my range is technically 66K. While it was in this range, do you see how the volume bars down here are way higher? It's kind of skewed because of this massive volume at the beginning. But in this, sorry, the percentage is really messing everything up. But when it first came into this range, these fees were super, super high. And it's because there was so much volume. It's because there's so much volatility. The bins, the liquidity pool in Meteora was getting so much volume that it was printing like 4 times the usual fees, right? So once it came back up to here, I got out. and I didn't get out of the liquidity pool, but I took my fees and I sold it here because I was like, okay, it's slowing down. I got a spike. I'm not going to be greedy. Took my money and sold, and then I actually stayed in for a little bit longer. I actually stayed in this whole downturn. But the crazy thing is this downturn, I earned maybe a quarter, of the fees in this whole section than I did in this little short section. So that tells you when there's a lot of volume and a lot of volatility at the beginning, that's really a place to capitalize, get in, get out. And luckily, I didn't get rugged entirely on this downturn. So I'm gonna look at the chat for a second. Mace, what is up? What's up, Rag? Rag says thank you for answering, bro. Learned a lot from you. Thanks, Rag. I hope it's helping. Rag, I swear you're not in the Telegram, which is weird because you tune in every stream, and I feel like you would have some valuable input in the Telegram, so you should definitely join if you want. Can someone make a bot to take these pool positions? Yes, they can. And I think there's actually some decent ones right now. LP Agent is a decent tool, and I don't really advertise the copy trading meta very much, to be honest. It's not something I love, but here they have a lot of wallet tracking statistics now. I haven't really looked into this, but if it's something you're interested in, feel free to explore yourself. But I'm pretty sure LP Agent has copy trading now. I don't like to do it. I copy traded like a test amount months ago, and I didn't like it because it wasn't closing my positions all the time. It was harder to manage risk. I'm not sure if it was replicating the same size. Like, let's say you're copy trading with 1 SOL, or let's say you have like a 5 SOL port, you're copy trading 1 SOL per position. What happens when the person you're copy trading goes in 10 SOL? And then goes in 1 SOL, and then 2 SOL. Like, your size is going to be harder to follow. And I'm always under the impression that you should never really rely on someone. Sure, it's fine to track wallets to get ideas, but personally, I don't think a specific bot is super ideal. But if you want to try it, be my guest. LP Agent is maybe what you can test out. What's up, Steve? New profile picture, huh? Start Discord. I'm not in Telegram. I do have the Discord. You want to see? I actually made the Discord, but I, for some reason, see, I have it. I have it in here. I made all these little fancy channel names, but I just haven't opened it yet. So I'll let you know. I'll let you know when we do that. Rag, do I even have you? Yeah, I hope I'm good. Yeah, I could be better. I'm still being stupid on the screen. You can see I'm somehow at 144 SOL after getting back up to 150 like 2 days ago. All right, I'm gonna get off the Russian trap music. I think we can maybe chill with that for a little. This song's a banger though. Yeah, it could be better, but just wanted to had a commitment to run the Monday stream, so you know we had to get it. Anyways, what were we? Pump V2 is what chat wanted me to look at. So, Pump V2, very, very good volume. It's actually probably doing still very well in this range. I just saw it late and I was like working out an hour ago or something, so I didn't touch it. But it seems to have been doing very well. And the one thing is, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the strategy, but for example, something that would have worked very, very well with my strategy is this very first run up. And I say this a lot on some of these tokens, but after it gets this first run up, you see it has a ton of volume and it has, you know, decent narrative, something you can believe in for at least a day. It's not a bad idea to even bid it from this top, right? So 803k, and then just set up a range maybe at 100k, even if you want to go lower, like 70k. I'd probably go down to 70k because I've been getting wrecked on stuff recently. So something like this is really, really what I would have liked to be in. But even now, it's really not bad risk reward because it's still getting tons of volume. This sort of move up right here is not something I usually LP. Some people do, but what was I saying? But usually, if I'm in this LP and it does this and I'm watching it, it goes out of my range, This is maybe somewhere where I'm going to hold my fees. Sometimes, if I'm, not as confident, then I'm going to sell some fees at the pump, and maybe I sell half here, right? But basically, this next run-up is for holding fees, in my opinion, the way I play it. On this run-up, I'm usually not going to be LPing. This is my pool, and now I have my fees. I'm going to wait for higher. So, but then again, after it tops up here, if you want to play it, you can. Just go pretty low, in my opinion. I would probably make a range down to 200, 100k from the top up here. I entered in Peepo and Tuna. I was watching Tuna, and I saw some of my friends. How you doing, Stevie? How you doing, STE, I should say. Peepo. Yeah, Peepo. My friends were cooking on Peepo, and also some people were cooking on Useful Coin as well. Husband. Not bad. Not a bad meme. I wasn't talking about the coin. Looks like it's getting kind of cooked now. Wasn't this the coin that, like, died? Oh, no, it didn't. Yeah, this thing's pretty strong. I don't know. I swear there was a other Peepo token, but maybe not. Yeah, this looks good, Rag. Have you been doing well on it? This is something that's, like, not really my traditional style. Just because it didn't have that hard dump, but that's really not a bad thing. Like, I'm going to give you another example of some coins that have been doing good for me. I'll show you. This one, T-Pay, you can see I still have so much liquidity below it. Right, I still have so much left in the range, but I have managed to earn 187 in fees, 149 PNL overall. So that one's doing very well. I've already claimed a good bit from this, so... anyways, what were you saying? I wanted to show you what those charts look like, even though you can see them in Meteora. Helps to pull it up on the big screen, so I'm going to show you something that is not similar to Peepo, because this is a Meteora dynamic pool token, so it's going to move a little bit differently, but it's kind of that same vibe where it's cooking in a sideways range, which is actually quite nice if you're able to stay in and get out before it has something that cracks super hard. T-Pay, and then what was the other one I wanted to look at? I wanted to look at QSOC, I think it was called, or PSOC maybe. Yeah, so something like this as well. Even though it's looking kind of deadly here, I am not super deep in range on this, so these little movements up and down are doing quite well for me in range right now. Antonio Wall Street Worm, thanks for the follow. Just entered on it, but already made good fees earlier. Nice, 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 nice. I'm going to keep it pretty basic. I was going to go over the difference between this pool because I'm actually in two different pools here. I'm in 100 bin 2% fee, and then a 400 bin step 5% fee. You can see I have around $10 more in this, and then 2 more in impermanent loss. This is an example for a different time. I'm just trying to chill tonight and maybe give out some basic information. What's up, Frosty? It's been a minute since I've seen your live. Nice to see you back, Frosty. I can't even remember the last time we were in here, so it must have been a while. I've been more consistent, I think, but I haven't been going as long. Just because there's not too much short-term stuff to go over, you know. I go over my strategies, what's been happening during the day, but, you know how the market has been, so. And then Tuna, you said, Rag. This looks a little farmy to me, but obviously it did very well if you're in it. What was it up here? It's 597, and the low was... It really didn't get that low, though. Like, that's not a bad range. If this was something like 70k, it would have been kind of scary, but yeah, pretty safe, man. That would have been a very good play, so good for you, Rag, if you're in this for a while. What are your filters? Believe it or not, I don't really scout too much. And if I do, I use some super boomer shit. Um, Sometimes if I'm really bored, I'll hang out on the Axiom homepage and just look at Pulse, you know. But usually, believe it or not, I have coins that I'm watching that I mean to look at, and one of the scanners I use, honestly, is just the Dex Screener homepage, dexscreener.com. You're not gonna find always great tokens on this homepage, but you can kind of get a feel for what the market is like. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can look over all of the high volume runners are going to be on the Dex Screener homepage. So you can see Useful has 4.5 mil today, Pump Fun is 5.5 mil, Lumen with 1.9 mil. So all of the running tokens are going to be here. A lot of people are going to tell you not to use Dex Screener. Honestly, GMGN and stuff like that and Axiom are better charts, but I like the interface. It's what I've been using for 2 years. So I'm going to stay on Dex Screener even if it's not the best. And then I do have one more screener. Here, let me pull it up, and I'll show you my filters on that. So, right, there's the Dex Screener homepage. This is kind of the first screener I use. And there's other things you can use. So many other scanners. It's all about preference, honestly. So Dex Screener homepage is one. Axiom Pulse, I'll just go to the Pulse tab. Look on this right-hand side. See what is graduated, what is not graduated. And you can get kind of a feel for the token meta by looking over here to see what has graduated recently, if things are actually getting volume or not. And then the last thing that I used to use a lot back in the day when I was hunting for new tokens, which I don't do as much anymore, is this Dex Screener filter. 10k liquidity minimum just to filter out some of the farms. 100k minimum market cap. $40 million maximum market cap. The only reason I do this is to eliminate, again, the fake tokens, the farms. Maximum age of 36 hours, and then 24-hour volume of 200k minimum. And that's what I do. And then I just go sort it by age. Usually what you can do on the left here, I don't know if you can see it on TikTok. So, my bad. So basically, I'm not sure if you guys know this or not, but Dex paid, when something is Dex paid, that means whoever the token creator paid $300 to give it a little icon that shows up. All of these other ones are either graduated tokens that are not Dex paid, so usually I don't even pay attention to anything that doesn't have a profile pic. And there are ways to hide that, but I like seeing the gaps between graduated tokens that are Dex paid, so I like kind of having this space, just personal preference. So, back in the day, I would wake up every morning, check Dex Screener homepage, check here, and I would just right-click, open, link a new tab. All of these different tokens. It takes like literally 2 seconds. Lumen, we played this one earlier, so there's at least one token. Pump V2, people are playing that. I'm going to just give you my thoughts on some of these tokens as we go through them. Useful, people are playing that. I think people are playing Liquid, maybe. I think that might be a copycat. Saw someone playing Water yesterday. So now you can look in here. This is not something I would ever use because of this super suspect volume. Kind of a snowball beta, I would assume. What's up, Noah? You exited the HTTPS. I did, Rag. I was going to go over that. It's actually really cool because I have a clip that I was looking at today of me predicting the move, and it low-key came true, so we're going to get to that in a second. I was already in Lumen Fortune. What's up, Noah? No, I have had such a busy week that I did see your message, but I really didn't look, unfortunately. But I hope you're making money. I bet it's like actual alpha that you're like, why do you keep fading? But you know me, I'm such a stubborn person. How can I start? I'm 16 and got 100 to start. Bro, all you can do for now is obviously you can start with 100. I started this wallet with technically like $200, so not that much. What you can do to start is just look through my TikTok if you are brand new to Twitter. I mean, if you're brand new to crypto, The further you scroll down on my TikTok page, the more basic and beginner information you're going to get. And then as you get closer to the top, you're going to hear me talking more about Meteora, how to trade meme coins. You know, I had a beginner's guide that I was working on, and I finished almost all of it, and I closed out of WAP or whatever I was making it on, didn't save a freaking word of it. So that plan got delayed. I'm still working on that. If I don't have it done by the new year, then I'll do some sort of giveaway or something. Just remind me. I've been waiting on Risen Teen. I'm just so done. I just can't with the Riz metas. It's like I'm just usually not gonna touch stuff like that. I need an old wallet that has transactions. Don't listen to him. He's gonna try to scam you. Block. But yeah, G4. If you wanna go ahead and look around, the TikTok's a good place to start. This is obviously a farm, right? Like, what kind of price action is that? Closing down that one. So you can see it really takes me not very long to. It doesn't take very long for me to go through all of these tokens. And then, not something I like. It is a dynamic, it was a dynamic 2 Meteora DBC. Sorry, my brain is fried. Still not something I'm going to touch. I'm not going to touch that. 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 Already touched that. Made our money. We're out. Fartcoin V2, this has been done a ton of times, even though it's not the most awful looking chart. Not going to touch it. Pump V2, obviously, still has attention, still getting volume, so that's not a terrible option. Obviously a farm. Obviously a farm. My friends were playing this. I don't love it, though. It's getting so much volume. Maybe this is real, so maybe this isn't like an awful option. Liquid, I don't like that. I don't like the look of that. 270k down to 30k and then bounce back down to 55k. It's just pretty sure this is just a copycat token as well. So exiting out of that. Henrik, don't know what's up with this dude. Doesn't look like something I'm gonna touch. Husband, not a bad meme. It's been done before, but it's getting kind of cooked. I don't know. It seems kind of legit to me, so we'll keep that open. And then water is just gone. That thing is gone. So, yeah, out of that whole page, we have this is fake too, so I'm exiting out of that. So we have really 3 tokens that even passed the smell test. And Lumen, which we already played. And then Rag is asking about HTTPS, so we can go look at that. What's up, Vinny? Crime, I tell you all my runners day one. I know you do. Okay, I'll pull it up. Soul Snatcher wants me to pull up, what is it? We're gonna use Axiom to look at this one. What is it? Risen Teen. Bro, how is it? But I understand that, like, is this it? I understand it could be the next Rizzoine, but like you have to understand, I just don't like these kinds of plays. They're just not my bread and butter. 124k or 128k, 24-hour volume isn't bad. It's alive, but you know, I won't doubt that it's gonna run. I'm not gonna say it's not, but it's just something that is like not my bread and butter. You know what I mean? Like I don't touch usually seasonal coins, and that's just how it works. Jeez, everyone's chilling in the chat. I know you do, and I appreciate it. I appreciate it, Soul Snatcher. I do. I really do. You just know me. You know, I just don't touch. I don't even, bro. I don't. When's the last time I bought something under 100k? Like literally never. But I'll keep an eye on it. I'll keep an eye on it, and if it runs and I'm not in it, that's just the way it goes. That's happened so many times, and you know, I'm always one to admit when I'm not in something and it goes. So I hope it goes up. I hope it goes up. Decent bid though at these levels. I mean, the bubble maps is a little bit concerning. 28% funded by Binance, right? So is it just a fresh wallet here? First active a day ago. Oh wait, no, that is not it. This is an actual Binance wallet. Wait, what's going on? Why can we not see who actually owns this? Or is this just the one it was funded by? Am I brain dead, chat? Jeez, you guys probably think I'm such an unk, which I am. The top holder only has 3%. Or is that the bundle wallet? Bro, I'm brain dead, honestly. I don't get it, though. Why is it not showing me the actual wallet address? Oh, there we go, there we go, there we go. I was looking at the whole cluster. Sorry, I'm not trying to FUD it. I'm just interested because there's a massive cluster. 28 mil. I don't understand why it's showing. There we go. Dev is rich. Funded by Binance. Okay, yeah, this is the original wallet that funded everything. I mean, honestly, that's like low-key bullish because that guy's probably just gonna run it up. He has the money to do so. So. I mean, yeah, the thing is like, it's definitely a crime coin. It's definitely coordinated. But usually people like this, or not usually, but like usually coins like this get really strong marketing pushes. So the dev is rich, as you can see. I mean, rich. He has like 100K in one wallet. But that's enough to pay marketers, and he's obviously done this before. So maybe they run it up again. I guess something to keep an eye on. Like I said, it's not one of my favorite plays because we know what the agenda and the intention is, and he could honestly just clip it whenever. But you know, it could be alpha. Soul Snatcher doesn't try to steer us wrong, I don't think. So something to look at. Anyways, Rag, are you still here? 100K is not rich, bro. No, it's not. But if you're looking around and you look at the wallets that most people are trading with, 100K in one wallet is not bad for most trenchers. Anyways, I wanted to give an example for Rag because this was a coin that I actually called on stream. I didn't call it on stream, but I kind of called what would happen. Yeah, as soon as I said 100K is rich, I knew we were gonna get some people in chat. So remember back here, I think we were talking about how I set up a bid here, 87% or actually 89% down, I think is what we did. Whatever this range is accurate, so it was probably down to like here is the bottom of my range, and I actually entered all the way up here. So this squiggly is what I drew on stream initially, and we can go back and clip it, but I was like, okay, I'm going to set up a bid here, wide bid ask 90% down. We're going to see if it does something like this where it comes down and gets one bounce, right? This one bounce is where I wanted to exit, or was planning to exit. That was the game plan coming into this coin. As we can see, right, it actually got pretty deep into my range. Came down, ran. And then, believe it or not, let's see where we are. So, believe it or not, it ran down pretty hard. At this point in the chart, you have to keep in mind, My liquidity pool is not in profit here. But as soon as it got up to here, it was in profit. So I'm going to see where I sold. Give me 1 second. Let's see if you guys can catch this or not. So we actually sold. Where did we sell at? I don't know if you guys can see that, but I actually clipped at the very top somehow. Kind of lucky, but we can consider it skill here. Just because I need something to bring up my spirits. I've been taking too many losses, but yeah, as you can see, I actually did clip this one. Almost at the Pico top. Is that not the exact top right here on this candle? Kind of crazy. But yeah, that's where we got out. And I think we made just about, I think one soul on that one. But that is usually the rinse and repeat method. And we can go ahead and clip that and put that together in the future. But yes. On my initial squiggly line, I didn't anticipate it coming so deep before getting a bounce, which is always, always, always why you want to make your range wider than you anticipate. Because instead of having the bounce all the way up here at 875k to 1.4 mil, it actually went all the way down to 400k and then bounced to 1 mil. So that's really how we managed to do that. Rag, what you think about that? Pretty accurate, huh? Thank you guys for the follows, Amanda Ray, D Savage. I would play some D Savage for you, but we're gonna get copyrighted on YouTube, so unfortunately cannot do that. Same Rizaween team, says Max Gambler. Good to know. I assume it probably would be. How many push-ups did you do at the Meteor booth? Dang, how does official know about that? I didn't do that many. I think I got 72 is the number, I believe, and I was cashed. But there's someone. Razzer did like 80 something. Mikas did like 120 or something. You played it too. Did you go as wide as I did, Rag? Because it honestly started getting hairy right here. Still had roughly another 50% from 500k to 230, but it was a little sketchy. Official Beto. How does he know? How does he know my life? I gave you a follow back. I bet Official Beto is like low-key someone on the team. That's just has a burner. But yeah. All the calisthenics guys were nice. You went minus 92%. Is that what I did? I don't remember. I think you were there when I set up the position, Rag, but I think I might have just gone minus 90%. But yeah, worked out, and honestly, you probably could have gotten out here for profit, but in my case, it would have been a lot more sketchy. Official Beto, who are you? You have to tell me now. I'm so curious. But yeah, this thing's obviously done. I mean, it might get a spike, but it's not something we're gonna end up playing. So let's keep a look. Husband. Pretty sure this happened. They did this meme last year. Not that that matters because the coins are, memes are just getting recycled now, so that's the way the meta seems to be going. Pretty sure useful has been done a million times, but no one's gonna care. They're still gonna pump 2 million in volume into it. Yeah. 5 months ago. He's not gonna tell me. That's okay. I want to make guesses, but I don't think I'm gonna get it right. But anyways, I guess we can go into the main portion of the stream because I honestly wasn't in a great mood before coming on because I've just been bouncing back and forth between like got up to 150, didn't take exits on some coins, back down to 144, and I don't love the massive price swings, to be honest. I'm not one to want my portfolio to go up and down that much, or this wallet to go up and down that much. So dealing with the loss, this article actually resonated very hard because I have always preached about risk. I come from stock trading and penny stocks and stuff, so that stuff was always hammered into me from an early age. I don't even know this. I don't think this is the right article. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. So basically, he's saying, which I agree with. First, you have to accept you are not unlucky. You were not treated unfairly. This loss was inevitably created by a weakness in your process. If you don't identify and fix the precise issue, it will happen again. I need point 0.2 Sol emergency. Unfortunately, I cannot help you. I am getting cooked in the trenches as well, so you're just going to have to tune in and try to make it yourself. But basically, if you don't identify and fix the precise issue, it will happen again. I know what my issue is every single time recently, and I've just continuously been doing the same thing over and over again, so really not ideal on my part. I know what I'm doing wrong. Second, you need to fully identify with your new net worth. Thankfully, this isn't as big of a case for me, but in the past I have taken losses that have taken my wallet net worth down a good bit, and it is hard, right? And he was saying that time really helps with that. So I don't even know if you guys are resonating or not with this, but if you have taken a big loss, then you for sure will resonate, because after you take maybe I don't know 10, even 20, even 10% net worth cut, it really messes with your head. And what's really important at that time is to not start sizing up. Basically, when you have a big net worth cut in your wallet, or whatever you're trading on, whatever portfolio, you have to just identify with your new net worth. Because if you don't, and you have expectations of having, like, let's say I was at 70 Solana at one point in this challenge, and I took a 20 Sol loss down to 50. So at that point, like, I am just so almost depressed because I'm used to opening my wallet and seeing my progress. But the important thing is to wipe the slate clean. Pretend you're a robot, right? Pretend you're a robot and you're just on to the next play. And it is very crucial. And in some cases, when you take a big loss, it helps with your risk, because you're like, I know the feeling of how bad it was, how awful it felt to take that loss, and I don't want to do that again. So, it's very important, especially, no matter what kind of trading. But DLMMing, a lot of people on Twitter, you're going to see big P&Ls, usually nothing over 4 figures. So if you're for some reason entirely rich, those aren't going to be that big. But when you're first starting DLMMing with a small amount, you might get intimidated, seeing people make $500, $400 per card, $1,000 per card. But basically, it's important to just stay in your own lane and only Sorry, I just got distracted. Bro, tell me why I bought useful coin 5k market cap, literally like one of the first people to buy, but got scared and sold at 60k. It's okay, bro. That's the way it goes. You're never going to be perfect. So yes, I'm going to get off this article. But yes, anyways, going back to it, when people are posting their DLMM wins, you don't really see the losses they take unless you're tracking their wallet. A lot of them aren't going to post their losses, so it's really hard to see what's going on behind the scenes, and you just have to stay in your lane, keep your mental game strong, right? Even if you take a loss, maybe take a few days off, come back and just keep rinsing and repeating, maybe with smaller size, stack a few wins, and then you're going to be back in the flow. And what I am doing wrong is I have a lot of these tokens down here, right? I have Fa, Detective. These are positions I'm super deep in that I'm waiting for pumps, and I believe in these tokens to some degree, so I'm not selling them. But whenever they have big fluctuations is really when I start seeing these big swings in my portfolio, which I'm just waiting for hopefully like like a 200% pump on these. I know that's very wishful thinking, but I think these are decent coins. They have decent staying power on TikTok, and that was kind of my mantra for June through October, so that's why I'm staying in. But in terms of stacking wins, P stock, T-Pay. We took a win on, what's it called, Lumen today, so that's really the key. Okay, official Beto is out. I'm gonna try to do some research. I want to figure out who it is.
Can I see you tomorrow night?
Sure.
I wonder if this is Lucky. Sorry. I won't dox him. Or I won't show his profile. I'm not sure if he would want me to do that. I don't know who this is, bro. No idea. Anyways, what's up, chat? Thank you for the follows, everyone. Thank you for the follows. Okay, enough of the Russian. Enough of the Russian, bro. That's enough. That's enough. I don't want to get Magica banned for some reason. Hey, someone just started following me on. If you guys, I'm gonna shout out my X real quick, just because I'm trying to grow this part. It's been more of a goal of mine to grow the X account more than the TikTok. So if you guys want to follow me, CrimeXBT, no period. I'll follow all you guys back, and then let me get a new playlist going. There we go. I like this one. Can you talk about Risk? Luca, are you actually serious? Did you just tune in? I literally just went over Risk for like 10 minutes, but I'm down to do it again. That's actually so funny. That's actually crazy. I literally just went over Risk for so long. EAI wrapped Ethereum. I don't really trade Ethereum because Meteora does not exist on Ethereum chain, so I probably am not going to be able to give you any meaningful insight on this. Okay, I'll get to Risk in a second. I don't really know what to say about this. 3K in volume isn't too much per day. It was at what, 6 mil? I really don't know. I can't say anything for sure on this one. Yeah, so risk management, I was just telling you. So basically, I'm gonna go to my other account. Actually, we can just search it. So this is my old account. Here is a whole risk article I wrote back in January of last year. I can't believe it's been so long. Sorry, this music's kind of loud. I wrote this back in January. We're actually just going to go over some stuff. We can just go over. I'm going to read it out to you guys, actually. So managing risk is the single most important step to growing an account. And especially in DLMM LPs, a lot of people don't talk about it that much. All they post are, and I'm not calling anyone out, I'm just saying, like, a lot of people aren't going to post their losses. That's how it goes in any sort of trading social media, right? So it's rarely talked about. And Meteora, which you can find out more about by looking at my profile, looking at Twitter, is what I use to trade meme coins 99.9% of the time, right? It allows you to manage your risk a lot better. It allows you to get exposure to meme coins without risking quite as much as you would if you're just trading them and expecting perfect exits and entries. Because what I say when I mean imperfect and perfect entries is when you buy a token, you have to be perfect on your entry, right? Because if it goes down anywhere, you're already in the red. You're already in the red if it goes down. Meteor allows you to choose, okay, coins right here, right? Current price. I think it's not going to drop below 80% down. So now you have your liquidity spread out. Now you're earning fees when it goes sideways in your range. That allows you to limit risk a lot. Now, 4 elements of risk. So the 4 elements that I usually talk about: mental stops, discipline. Meteor does not have hard stop losses yet. So whenever you get out of range, you just have to be the one in charge. You have to make the decision to cut your loss and move on. Something I've been struggling a lot with lately. And keep in mind, I consider myself very good at managing risk, but I'm not perfect. I've taken a lot of losses and I've messed up a lot of times. I've probably had like 15 losses that were completely outsized that I should not have taken, that have set me back a lot on this challenge. Alright, whenever I get out of range, I withdraw and sell on Jupiter. You want to get ready to cut the loss when it gets close to the bottom of your range. You don't want it dumping straight through. You're probably wondering what I'm talking about if you don't use Meteora, but that's okay. This stuff can still apply. You have to be in a mindset where you are ready to withdraw and sell no matter what. This is the #1 most important rule to follow. Cut losses quickly. Plot out the bottom of your range on your chart so you know how close you are to having to hit the eject button. Your goal is to survive. Right now, even though I'm not happy with my performance because I haven't had significant growth recently in this wallet, I'm still not completely wrecked, right? I'm still hanging around the same portfolio value. I went up to 160 SOL at a high. I'm now at 144. I am fine with that. I'm getting frustrated because I've been bouncing around, but it's better than being down 30 or 40% on the wallet. So that's fine. Position sizing, right? This isn't as relevant anymore because you can create any range you want, but make sure you are risking enough. If you have a 1 SOL account, that you're trading with, I think it's fine to go 0.5 SOL per position and risk 50% of your portfolio just so you can grow it. But once you hit like maybe 4 SOL, you're not really going to want to risk more than 25% of your account on any trade unless it's a very, very A+ opportunity. And remember, 50% isn't that far away. Coin selection. Coin selection is 70% of doing this, unfortunately. And exits in entries are going to be imperfect, so we can get into coin selection. I'm not going to go over all of that right now. Fee generation, this is not as relevant anymore either, but it still is important. So I'm not going to go over all this. If you want to go ahead and read this, I'm just going to repost this. So if you guys want to check that out, go ahead and look at that. Thank you guys for the follows. I'm following all of you guys back. But that's all I'm going to say about risk management for right now. Would you suggest trading to get rich or try something else? So I think maybe 1% of traders are profitable, right? So one thing I will advise you, don't put all of your eggs in one basket right now. I'm trading this. I'm showing you that it's possible to start with a small amount and grow it over time. But what's up, Cloak? I didn't even see you in here. But it's not something that I'm going to say, oh yeah, go all in, quit your job, only focus on this. But I will say this is something that is very, very, it's very beneficial to know. If you are not familiar with the Solana ecosystem, if you're not familiar with Meteora, if you're not familiar with meme coins, I think it's very, very ideal for you to go ahead and try to at least become knowledgeable in this stuff, because there are going to be points in the future, in my opinion, where the meme coins are going to heat up super, super hot again. You want to know all of this stuff when an opportunity like Trump comes around, right? Like the Trump coin last year. I wasn't even adequately prepared for that. I could have made probably like 10 grand if I just locked in, but I was on a trip, whatever. Anyways, point still stands. You should definitely learn it, but there's no point to put all of your eggs in one basket. If you're debating, if you're towards the end of high school or something, and you're like, should I just not go to college and try to trade full time? Unless you're planning on renting a Lambo and marketing courses and selling a course that everyone else sells, I don't think it's the best idea. You always are going to want to have a backup plan. Even though I'm full time now, I worked a job for like, I don't know, since I got my first job in 2022, first real job. So um, it's never going to be like straight cash flow, in my opinion. Obviously, you can hit if you were in Solana at $8 and you wrote it up to 200, that can be a generational wealth opportunity. So it's important to be in the space to know what's going on, but you can't count on it because I believe in Solana going to $1,000, but I don't know when it's going to be. You know what I mean? What sweater is that? You like it? It's some vintage. It's Dunlop, like the tire brand. I found it on some resale website, and I was like, oh, I like that. Does that help? What website is that, sir? So we are on Dex Screener right now, looking at tokens, but usually, so we use Dex Screener usually to look at our tokens, and then we use Meteora. Meteora.ag is the platform that I direct to 99% of the time, because this is all I use to trade meme coins. Maybe 1% of the time I'm going to buy a token spot, but right now is really not the market for straight up trading meme coins. You want to be LPing them on Meteora, in my opinion, to make the best returns. So Meteora.ag, if you are confused at what I'm saying, just drop a follow. This stuff is like all over my profile, and yeah. Don't they make tennis balls, Dunlop? Yes, they do. HQ in Antigua. I just thought about that URL. What do you mean, Cloak? Yes, they do make tennis balls, though. They're like one of those, like, I don't even know. I'm trying to think of a racing tire brand that also does tennis, but yes, they do. Oh, I don't know. I don't think that's why. Maybe, but it's like Jupe.ag, you know what I mean? Jupiter owns Meteor, I believe. Or they're the parent company or something like that. They're heavily affiliated with each other. Meow owns like Meteor technically, I think. So anyways, I guess we can check the scanner, see if anything else has popped up. I don't believe it has, but we can always look. Oh yeah, we're on the right scanner here. Okay. Stormball still the most recent one. We can check out, what is it, Pump V2. Pump V2, if you wanted to, I probably wouldn't size in here just because I'm not entirely confident on this. But if I was doing a bid ask on Pump V2, I would definitely go very, very low because you don't know how low this is going to go. I'd probably honestly go down to like 100K would be my range here. And I'd just be looking for, you know, one of these, something like this. Spike, get out here. That's what I'd be looking for on that one. Yeah, Meteor is Singaporean. I think like 90% of their team is from there. Does have regulation for digital assets. I don't think the URL necessarily matters where it's from. Like, I could definitely register an AG URL. What's up, Phoenix? Back with another banger stream. Been a minute. What's up, Phoenix? Good night, Noah. Sorry, I didn't see that. Yeah. Honestly, really, I've been so like frustrated with my own trading that I really didn't want to get on stream tonight, but I was like, oh, I need to. The P&L feature in Meteora is not correct. So the P&L feature in Meteora RAG, it calculates it based off of a dollar value. So basically, what you want to do, in my opinion, is I entered this position with 6 SOL. So instead of calculating, right, it says I'm up $59. I'm not sure if that actually equates to how much Solana. So what I always do is calculate it based on Solana, because like if you entered a position when Sol was 150, if you entered a one Sol position at 150 and Sol went down to $100, then it would show you minus 50 PNL. When in reality you didn't lose any Sol. That's the only thing that's different about the Meteor PNL feature. I made the stream when I hit the crib. If you still live, maybe, bro, maybe. Phoenix, I'm telling you, I'm struggling, and I need to get my sleep schedule back. So I probably won't be live, but I'm gonna try to be live tomorrow, and we can chill. It'll be more chill tomorrow. I wanted to go over some stuff since we're live on the LP Army YouTube, as you can see. So probably not, but I appreciate you, Phoenix, and we'll get together soon. I don't know why I said it like that. You know what I mean, though. Does that answer your question, Rag, or did you have another inquiry about it? I think we've about wrapped it up. I talked about risk. I talked about my recent plays, and I've talked about how I am not satisfied with my trading performance as of recent. It's been a while since I've been satisfied, but it's okay. You can only blame yourself. You can blame the market and take some, and sometimes, I forgot to mention it in the risk article, sometimes it does help to just blame something else. Obviously, you need to know where you went wrong, but like if you can just accept that it's not the best market conditions, you can give yourself some slack, and it just improves your mental state, right? You don't want to be completely depressed, be like, oh, I can't believe I did that, I'm the worst trader ever. Yes, you need to realize where you go wrong, but you can't beat yourself up super hard, which is why, like, I've been beating myself up for not getting out of this 15 Sol hole that I've been in, but I'm not like ultimately completely confidence shattered. Like, I know I can still get out of it. I just need to stop doing dumb stuff. But that really helps. You know, having your confidence shattered really, really impacts your trading, because you start questioning whether you're even cut out for this, whether you're even going to be profitable in the long run. Obviously, the answer to all of that is not taking big losses, but yes. Yes, I understood. I've been calculating P&L, how you said in past streams. Rag, I really think that's the best way to do it. I used to kind of check my P&L in terms of portfolio value, just so I kind of knew what was going on at like a first glance, you know? But it really helps to just calculate everything in terms of Solana, and then you don't get as emotional when Solana goes up or down, you know what I mean? So thank you guys for the follows. I am probably about to head out, so I don't wreck my sleep schedule. But if you guys want to go ahead and drop a follow on Twitter, drop a follow on TikTok. I'm trying, Cloak. I'm trying, bro. I know I can. I know I can get out of this hole. I'm just like, I'm doing the same stupid stuff that I preach not to do. So I know what I'm doing wrong. I know I'm gonna get out of the hole eventually. It's just I keep getting like close. I keep getting to like 150, 153 Sol, 155, and I keep going back down. So coming from someone who's been trading perps full time, I've low key been. I don't know if you knew this, Cloak, but I used to trade like small cap stocks is really where I first started, and I used to long a lot of short squeezes and breakouts back in the day, and then I got to shorting. I used to try to short because that's what all my friends were doing. Blew up a decent bit of profit doing that. Thankfully, I had a lot of spot bags from 2022. I was actually buying Solana and Bitcoin when Bitcoin was like 25K, so. Yeah, you did, of course. I should have known. Bro, Cloak, you're definitely part of, you're definitely like, wait, Cloak, you're max, right? You're max value, right? I'd say you're part of the 1% that's profitable, Cloak. I would not say it's 6%. I knew that. I'd say like 1% of perp traders are profitable. Best strategy for someone with 1 to 2 soul port. Sean, I kind of went over the strategy that I do on this stream, but you're going to find a lot of content. It's really not that complicated. My strategy is usually the same nearly every time, but you're going to have to get used to using Meteora and the software. So if you just drop a follow on TikTok and scroll down, and if the farther you scroll down, the more beginner friendly it's going to be, and then you're going to be able to kind of see how we choose plays, what software we use, etc. Yeah, I know. I can see how there'd be an edge there for sure. I saw the one you sent earlier. Um, but there were so many different ones I didn't really know what to make of it necessarily. Like, I'm gonna show you. You were sending this one's. I'm like, okay, a lot of long liquidations right here, right? But then there's a lot of short liquidations right here. Oh, this is Solana and this is Bitcoin. Okay. Yikes. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Damn, there's like no liquidations at all up until 90k. That's crazy. Of course, Sean, of course. Thoughts on White Whale? It was a good meme at the beginning. It seems like the attention has kind of shifted off of it at this point. It's definitely a winnable game. Nice cloak. The large clusters act as magnets, but the movement is never a sure thing, right? Of course, of course. I don't think I'm cut out for perps trading personally, but I'm always interested. You always send these big P&Ls, and I'm like, I don't even know. I don't even know what the alpha is, but I appreciate having you in here because that's not anywhere close to being my expertise. White Whale, we can check White Whale, and then we're probably gonna head off. But yeah, Cloak, I'd say like maybe 1% of perps traders are profitable. Maybe even... Wait, White Whale is back at all-time highs? Since when? Did we know this happened? That's crazy. Last time I checked, it was like down here, which is why I was like, oh, there's not much attention on it. But I guess the meme is still strong. Nothing that I'm going to touch because it's kind of already had its move. If I were to play this, I would have wanted to be in it at the beginning right here, LPing this section, or 3 mil down to like pretty low. So this is probably where I would have wanted to have been in, and now it's just not really something, because if it has another downturn down, which is what I usually look for, these second move downs are usually never as great. They usually fade off way harder, and they're not going to be as strong as this first move. So that's my thoughts on White Whale. I'm not going to touch it. I'll tag you in Telegram if I come across a plus setup. I see Cloak. He owns 27% in pools. You mean he has like 27% in like liquidity pools? Yeah, Cloak, I know you and one other person that trades perps all day, and like, obviously if you're trading perps all day, that doesn't mean you're profitable, but if you're doing it for 1 or 2 more, or 1+ year, 2 years, like, you have to have something you're looking at and be profitable, because there'd be no point, you know? Yeah, what's up, Sean? How do you determine how bullish a coin narrative is? So what I used to do a lot when I was selecting coins and making my decisions is I would judge it based off their virality on TikTok. Like 6-7, obviously insanely viral meme. The lion, right? The lion doesn't concern himself with blank. And then Fa was a coin that I cooked on. So some of those tokens are going to be TikTok virality, Instagram virality, how often you're seeing them in Instagram comments. Those are like the coins that I consider A+ because they're universal. They're not native to crypto or anything like that. But White Whale, it was a narrative where basically an account, I I think it was some sort of uh, whale, right? Someone with a lot of money. I think he was a perp trader. But basically, there was some lore that this guy was funding like white supremacy groups or something like that, or he was some sort of racist, something like that. So this went really viral. People were trying to psyop it, make it a whole big deal. That's why it has attention, and then obviously people are making their own memes and content. 100K USD giveaway. So this is something that was viral on crypto Twitter. Not necessarily viral on TikTok, but you can see it did have strength because of that TikTok, that CT, that crypto Twitter virality. So that's something that I would give advice on how do you know if it's how bullish it is. You just have to judge the public and what you think they think of it. And you want to get out almost when you think euphoria or attention has peaked. Usually, that's not always the best. That's not always the best indicator. But what's the best fees and settings for $20 port? In terms of I don't trade on Axiom usually, Mason. So, I am always trading on Meteora. So it's a little bit irrelevant, I think. Asking me that question is because I'm always providing liquidity, but I will say when you are opening a Meteora position, right? Let's say I'm opening a position, you do need 0.057 at the minimum to open a position. So what is that, like $12, something like that? $13, something like that. So I would recommend you can 100% learn this. I would 100% you looking into Meteora because you can grow a very small account. But like if you want to recreate the range I had, like 87%, you're gonna need like 0.16, right? You're gonna need 0.16 SOL, and you get that back, but that's what you need to at least enter the position. But if you have more questions, I just recommend you looking at my videos, and you'll get kind of a feel for what we're doing every day. Oh, really? I didn't know that, Danny. I haven't been keeping up with the lore. With Miss. Christmas is too close. I'm gonna say no to that automatically. I don't like holiday. I don't like seasonal coins, period. But considering that Christmas is in 2 days now, it's not something I'm gonna touch. Even though the price action doesn't look awful on this, actually it kind of formed a nice bottom. It's not. I'm not gonna buy it here because what happened is like Christmas Eve. Like, do you really think it's gonna run a lot on Christmas? I don't think it would. Even though this chart is like looks not bad, to be honest. The chart actually doesn't look bad at all. And maybe it runs tomorrow, and that's the exit. But it's too risky for me. I'm not gonna. I don't buy tokens really, so not something I'm gonna touch, unfortunately. So, if we're looking at new pairs, if a coin isn't linked to any big trend like 6-7, how do you know they will migrate and reach a high market cap? I don't even, Sean, I really don't trade new pairs. So a lot of the people you're going to see trading new pairs, and don't get me wrong, you can definitely be profitable doing this. I know people that have ran up crazy amounts of money trading new pairs, but I am not good at this. So one thing you can do if you're sitting here is you have to be very, very patient. Wait until you find like a narrative that seems like semi-decent, right? It doesn't have to be a massive narrative, I guess. And you don't even have to take my advice because I'm not technically a profitable new pair trader. So, but for example, right, one thing that I've been doing more recently is I look at volume more. So even though this isn't like a viral meme or anything, when I saw this, I saw some of my friends playing this, right? It was getting a lot of volume. At this point, I think it had like 1 million volume already, and it had some sort of trustworthiness. It was some sort of tech. I didn't research it that hard. I don't really have to usually because I go so wide, and if it rugs, I usually have time to get out. But on something like this, right, it's not a viral meme, but I saw it was getting volume, so that's why I entered in. On something like this, I'm not looking for a home run though. I'm looking to farm my fees and get out. Yo, what's up, Cloak? Sorry. What'd you say? I'd like to see Soul bounce off 121.60, not break 120, risking 300-ish USDT on that. I don't have any major conviction on this one. Pretty small position for me. 200 sold margin. That's funny. That's like a decent bit for me. In the coming weeks, months. I mean, I kind of agree with you. I obviously don't look at the liquidation maps or stuff like that. Someone is scammer, nah. Oh, Luke is in the chat. What's the site? So the site, we are on Dex Screener, DEX Screener, to look at charts, and then Meteora, like a meteor, like a comet, right? Meteor, like the Linkin Park album. Meteora.ag is the site that we trade on usually. That's funny. You're a new pair trader, so I like don't touch anything unless it's migrated. Sean, if you are a good new pair trader and you spot things early and you sell too early, definitely learn how to use Meteora, because this is going to allow you to not risk as much. It's going to, or it's like, let's say you have a coin at 10K and it goes to 150K, you sell, but you're like, I still want to have a part of this. You can set up a Meteora pool from, let's say, 150K, and you're like, I don't think it's going to dump below 20K. So now you've taken your profit, and now you have less risk. And now if it goes down and stays in your range, you're able to grab some more money off of that. 200 soul margin with leverage. Not that wild. Okay, yeah. I was thinking about like 200 soul, like isolated. Okay. Right. $300 risk. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Cloak, that's like I think by being so like exact in your risk and stuff, I think that's why you're profitable. Actually, I know that's why. Because you pick your spots and you don't trade willy-nilly. What do I learn about the Meteora thingy? So, if you look on my page, that's like literally 90% of my content. How far are you in the challenge? We're at 144 soul. I got up to 160 back at the beginning of December. I went back to 150, went up to 155. So this honestly hasn't been a great month for me. I've been bouncing back and forth, and I've been taking dumb losses. So we're unfortunately at 144. I'm not too upset because thankfully I'm not wrecking the entire portfolio, even though I'm taking some bad losses. So yes. Just check the page. Yeah, some months 0 to 10 positions, some months 11 to 50 positions or more. That's good. Honestly, Cloak, I think when I tried trading futures for like a bit, and I was like under the impression, I was like telling my friend, because he was trying to convince me, he doesn't really trade, like, he doesn't trade crypto perps, but he trades, he farms a lot of funded accounts. He used to trade small caps. He already has a decent amount of money, but he's like, dude, I don't know why you don't do it. I'm like, dude, I think I could be profitable if I just set up limit orders and stops and just let it sit there, rest on the chart. I think I could actually maybe be profitable doing that. But if I just come and sit on the screen all day looking at, Sol, I don't think that's the move. So maybe I'll try that. I'm spread so, like, obviously I have a lot of time, but like it feels like I don't anymore. And my trading, I think, has suffered because I'm trying to grow the social media. Nice. Yeah, Sean, that's an example exactly of where Meteor can benefit you. Yes. Right. Are the fees bad when you are the taker? I don't even remember. I remember reading about that there was fees when you are the taker versus the maker, but I didn't know if it was that significant or not. How do I fix my mentality and make better entries? So, Sean, I will say that, like, I'm not the right person to ask that, because my entries are never perfect, right? Like, I'm gonna give you an example real quick. When I'm trading this, and I'm not gonna get in this, I was already in this. Here, I'm gonna give you an example back here. So I saw that this coin, I think you said you might have been in Lumen. So I saw this token like right here when it was getting all of this volume. I think I started watching it at this run up. So I entered a position right here. keep in mind, right, when you're buying the token flat out, your entry is 500k. Now, the only thing you can benefit from is if it goes up. But what I did is I made a range. I set up my range. I made Meteor allows you to create ranges where it splits up your Solana between a bunch of different limit buy orders you can think about. So from this moment, let's say instead of buying one soul here and hoping it goes up, Meteor is going to take your one soul and split it between a bunch of different buy orders all the way down. And my range was minus 87%. So you can see I'm covering down to, that's not right. You can see I'm covering down to 66k. So my risk is technically the bottom of my risk where I'm going to be out of range is 66k down here. So I don't have to worry about if it goes down. In fact, I want it to go down from here. So what Meteor allows you to do is when the token comes down into your range, you earn fees in the token, right? When it goes down on this first move, you're going to get fees in Lumen. You're going to get Lumen tokens as your first buy orders convert to the token. Now when it goes up, you're going to get fees in Solana. So the deeper it goes, the more risk you're going to take on, right? Because now down here, you have a lot more Solana converted to the token. But you are actually going to get more fees as it's moving down here because you have more size in these little orders it's bouncing around. So moral of the story, when you're buying a token, you are just planning on it going up. Meteor allows you to gain exposure and earn money in fees and not be entirely perfect on your exits and entries. Now, for example, I'm in this pool. Once it came up to here, I sold some of my fees that I earned. This limits even more risk. So you can obviously still get punished if this thing dumps all the way below and goes to 0, because think about it. Let's say one soul is in this thing. Your one soul is now going to be entirely converted to the token at the bottom of this range. But if for some reason it stays in here, moves around, you're going to earn money by the coin going sideways. When initially, if you had bought up here and it goes down, you're just hoping for it to come back up. But Meteor allows you to profit off of price movement. So that's all I'm going to say for tonight. I need to go to bed soon. Yeah, it depends. Market making, less fees too. But in terms of like fixing your mentality, it's never gonna be easier. You just have to take profit and not get mad when it goes 10x, I guess. Some ults it doesn't matter. High leverage BTC, Ethereum Sol, market making, market taking. Certain alts making taking equals trivial fees regardless. Just depends what you're trading. Okay. Question: when do you buy? When do you sell? I just joined. I literally, unfortunately, just went over that lesson. Last question: do you offer one-on-one coaching? I will be soon if you go to. So technically, I'm part of the LP Army, which is like the community for Meteora. And they're rolling out a bunch of new updates to their website. So we are working on, the whole team is working on getting this program up and running, LP coaching. So as you can see right here, here am I. I'm one of the 10 coaches, 13 coaches on here. So just drop a follow and stay in contact with me if you want to get coached. And I will be happy to try to get that going. But right now, probably not anytime soon. Anytime soon is in 1 to 2 weeks. I'm going to try to see if we can get this all set up. But it is something that is coming in the future. So yes, I will be doing one-on-one coaching. But I'm not sure how it's going to work yet. But anyways, can I send you a DM on Discord? If you want to send me a DM on TikTok, I will be rolling out the Discord soon. It's just I've been busy, so I'm gonna drop the Telegram for you guys if you want to join that, and just drop a follow on TikTok. Send me a message, I'll see it. And then also, if you guys would be so kind to drop a follow on X, that would be super appreciated. My X is Crime XBT with no period. Yeah, Cloak, I think we've talked about this in the past, but I'm not sure. Um, I don't think this relates in terms of maker and taker fees, but I was doing like carry trades for a bit on different dexes and sexes. I was trying to do that because my Hungarian friend, was telling me that he's been cleaning up doing that, but it's a little bit too. It's a little bit too stressful for me. Honestly, I think there are a lot of different trading edges, but I just prefer meme coins. Peace, bro. Peace, Sean. Thanks for tuning in. Cloak, I'm about to head out, but I'll see you in Telegram, I guess. And yeah, if I don't see you guys, I hope you guys have a good Padre or Axiom. Meteora. Peace, Cloak. Yeah, hope you guys all have a great holiday season, and I will see you tomorrow, hopefully. So, peace, guys. Drop a follow if you have not. Peace. Rag, sorry, I haven't even checked the YouTube chat in such a long time. I don't know if you're still here. But I'm about to head out, Rag. YouTube fellas, thank you for joining if you are here. But I'm about to head out and go to bed. But I will be live on my Twitter and TikTok tomorrow again. So, peace, Rag. Peace, Rag. Thanks for tuning in, brother.